Alright guys, we got a pretty controversial take here, but please allow me to explain myself before you flood the comment section or click off the video. Now at times, players that are skilled at baiting defenders can force it a bit too much in expectation of them getting the whistle. That then leads to flopping, which is ultimately dangerous to anyone on the court. If you look at the bigger picture though, there's not many players in the NBA that are able to manipulate defenses like the foul baiters. It demands a high level of awareness, ball handling, and respect from the defense in order to be used effectively. This technique of baiting defenders into a foul has been around for a long time now, and this is nothing new. Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, James Harden, etc. were some of the league's most skillful scorers that were able to draw fouls almost at will. Honestly, it can be a bit frustrating whenever a superstar is constantly getting to the line, but when you're able to score in a variety of ways, the defense tends to get a little anxious, and that's the perfect time to attack them. Some foul baiters can take it a step further and begin to flop at the failing contact to over-exaggerate the action to get the whistle, and I think there's no place in the league for this. Especially when you start seeing 250-pound grown-ass men flying across the court after a love tap. LeBron James was the face of the NBA for decades and is the leading scorer in NBA history, but I'm surprised he doesn't have an Oscar by now for Best Actor on the court. The fact that LeBron could bulldoze through multiple defenders and finish at the rim on one play, and then immediately fall to the ground at the minimal contact doesn't make any sense to me. It's also annoying to watch him constantly complain to the refs after every play when it's limiting his transition defense. As much as I love watching Joel Embiid finally be healthy and play to an MVP level, I couldn't help but notice the obvious flopping that will follow at the contact. With him being 280 pounds, there's no way he should have been getting knocked to the ground as much as he was. Embiid was able to get to the free throw line over 11 times per game from 2021 to 2024, but his methods of doing so could be the reason why he's constantly battling injuries. The narrative surrounding foul baiters is that they are free throw merchants that are taking away the exciting aspect of the NBA. From the point of view of the fans, I completely understand how boring it can be to watch someone shoot free throws or how the officiating can drag out a game, but as a player, moments like these are crucial. This is why skill and intelligence is needed to successfully foul bait, because if done right, it creates a lot of advantages for your team. Imagine this late in the game, and the opposing team goes on a 10-0 run to take a 4-point lead. The defense is naturally hyped up and feeling good since they're on a run, but you use their eagerness against them by baiting the defender to swipe down while you raise up for a shot. Now you slowed the momentum down, got into the heads of the defenders, and you're giving your team a quick breather and the possibility to think of new strategies in the meantime. When Kobe Bryant was averaging 35 points per game back in the 04-05 season, he was getting to the free throw line 10 times as well. In 3 different seasons where LeBron was averaging at least 30 points per game, he also got to the free throw line 10 times. James Harden actually increased his attempts at the free throw line in a 3-year span up to 12 times per game while averaging about 34 points. Stephen Curry seems to be an exception to this correlation though. In 2 seasons where Curry averaged 30 plus points per game, he only got to the line 5 times per game, only half of what the previously listed scorers had. Why is that the case? Is Curry not getting the same whistles as other superstars? Yeah, probably, but I think it's a little deeper than that. Curry's playstyle involves a lot of off-ball movement to get himself to his spots without having to break down defenders a lot of the time. I would say about 70% of Curry's scoring opportunities are catch and shoot threes or him scoring out the dribble after his man has been screened. He is able to bait defenders into jumping, which allows him to draw a foul, but it isn't done at a very high value. I wouldn't say this classifies Curry's playstyle as ethical and the others as unethical, because there isn't specifically a right way to play the game. Success can be found in many different playstyles and variety should be welcomed, but we would still be playing like how they did back in the 50s. 2 stars in this year's playoffs has sparked the foul baiting conversation again, and one star is having his championship run discredited because of it. When you look at how Jalen Brunson and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander manipulate the defense, you may think it's selfish or ruining the game, but when you zoom out, you realize that both were influenced by offensive masterminds. In 2018, the Mavs unknowingly drafted 2 of the top guards in the NBA today. Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson are 2 highest scoring guards in the playoffs since 2020, with 0 signs of either slowing down. Just like Luka, Brunson is able to get to whatever spot on the floor he wants, and his handles allow him to keep his defenders off balance to draw those fouls. The summer of 2019 was a very crucial time for the OKC Thunder. Not only did they commit highway robbery on the LA Clippers, but they also acquired the point guard from the Houston Rockets, Chris Paul. At this point in his career, OKC didn't need Paul to go out and get 15 and 10. No, they needed his leadership skills and his guidance to help develop their young talent. I believe that Paul mentored Shea on all the nuances in the game and really helped him understand it from a different perspective. We all witnessed the development of his playmaking ability in the postseason, as those high assist games were almost guaranteed wins. One thing I am a little confused about is the criteria that determines if your foul baiting is ruining the game or legendary. Shea has been getting slandered the entire postseason for his playstyle, and fans believe OKC championship was rigged. It's funny because a guy named Luka Doncic had a similar playstyle as Shea, but was praised for his performances. I really love when fans will pull up this BS comparison and allow that to be their sole reason as to why Luka is better. The blow-by stats don't take into account what could happen if you manage to recover, so chase down blocks or from behind steals aren't accounted for. More often than not, if Shea is beat out the dribble, he'll make an effort to cause chaos for the opponent. Luka, on the other hand, usually stands around watching or complaining to the refs or his teammates after he gets beat out the dribble. Look, let's be honest, foul baiting isn't going anywhere. It was used in the early 2000s and it's still being used to this day. If you're tired of seeing it, your only hope is that it gets so out of hand to the point where the NBA has no choice but to do something about it. 2 years ago, the NBA started giving out technical fouls for anyone that was flopping, and this was supposed to be the end of it. Well, here we are in 2025 and flopping is still a thing, and I can't tell you the last time a player was actually penalized for doing it.